before we muster the courage to take the first step, no one imagined we could go so far. We found answers in this small flint. Before enlightenment, no one knew the flint would ignite the hope of human civilization. Let us no longer fear when facing the capriciousness of nature. Let us endure the test of life. We are determined to push beyond the limits of physics, to shatter all ingrained perceptions. Taiwan, the island of semiconductors, we would not hold back. Gather all our strengths to empower each other. Together, we stride towards the future of semiconductors. We respond to the trust given by every international partner. Here resonates the truths and inclusivity we earnestly seek, pursuing sustainable development across generations, guarding love and freedom with justice, creating miracles with the spark of inspiration, persisting in faith, seeking another kind of harmony. The future lies in your hands. We stand here, continuing this blueprint of a brilliant future. I see Taiwan, I see grand challenge.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to IC Taiwan Grand Challenge today, and I would like to welcome all of you on the behalf of Taiwan Tech Arena. Before we begin today's program, we are honored to have the Director General of the National Science and Technology Council, Ms. Andrea Shi, to deliver an opening remark. Let us welcome Ms. Shi onto the stage.
Thank you. Distinguished guests, our speakers, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm Andrea Shi, the Director General of National Science and Technology Council. Today is my great honor to invite you to join our IC Taiwan Grand Challenge Forum. As we know, Taiwan has very strong ICT industry supply chain. I think many Taiwanese people like me feel very excited and proud in recent days because we see all the global top technology tycoon gathered in Taiwan in recent days, especially for joining the Computex. So we are very proud about that. And I have joined a lot of speech they declared in recent days. I learned two things. The first one is AI very important in the future, especially AI will be everywhere and everything will be digitalized. So AI will be very important for the future technology development. And the second thing is Taiwan very important because as we know, Taiwan has very strong supply chain for such kind devices and applications. So if every new applications about smart technologies, we will rely on Taiwan industry. So not only semiconductor, but also PC, computer, all the components industry is quite important to the world. So that's why NSTC established TTA, Taiwan Tech Arena, this place in 2018. We want to leverage Taiwan technology strengths to enlarge our Taiwan startup ecosystem to help more smart applications or innovative ideas may happen in Taiwan and linkage to the world. So we work with 10 top international accelerators since then, like Mosaic, Volker, from one of the very leading accelerators in TTA right now. By now we have support more than 800 startups since we launched. So I think it's very important job how to translate technology outcome into startups and help our startups go global and make our startup ecosystem more complete and more strengthened. So it's also why we launched a new program we call CBI program. The total name is Chip-Based Innovation Program. So we have a competition we call IC Taiwan Grand Challenge competition, we want to use our semiconductor industry strengths to attract more startup teams to Taiwan and to work with our supply chain and our industrial cluster together. And let's work together and provide more smarter applications and solutions to the world. So that's why we have this competition. Later, my colleague, our section chief Lin, will introduce the program later. And I think most important of all, I will express my appreciation to the speakers today. Later, they will discuss how to promote such kind of program and how to help leverage our technology strengths to the global startup ecosystem and let Taiwan become a good place. Invite all the global startup teams to make your dream come true happen in Taiwan. So that's our purpose, and I hope it will come true soon. And lastly, I hope today's event grade 6 and everyone here with a fruitful, enjoyable, and rewardable outcome today. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Director General Shi, for your kind words of encouragement. Please return to your seats with extra care. So just as the Director General Shi has mentioned, there is a IC Taiwan Grand Challenge competition ongoing right now. So if you're in the related startups or if you're in the related industry, please feel free to sign up and look out there for the information of IC Taiwan Grand Challenge competition. We would like to promote more onto the application of the industry. And up next, since today is a really special moment, we would like to move on to the group photo taking. And as you know, we have a forum later. So we would like to invite the moderator, the panelists, as well as the Director General once again onto the stage. So let me invite the moderator to our forum later, the Managing Director of Mosaic Venture Lab, Mr. Volker Hasterman, onto the stage, as well as our 3 panelists later. Please welcome partner of MediaTek Capital, Mr. Wei Ningshen, onto the stage. Also, General Partner of Cascade Capital Management Partner, Mr. Paul Chen, Co-founder and CEO of OnPlus Technology, Mr. Brian Chu, and of course, our Director General of the NSTC, our Director General Shi, onto the stage once again. All right, and then we will wait for our staff to hand out all the hand signs for our group photo taking. So each one of you will have one. So listen to my cue. 3, 2, 1. Please bring the hand sign forward to signal the start of the program. Okay, listen to my cue. 3, 2, 1. InnoVEX Taiwan, shape the future. Can we bring the hand sign forward for a little bit? Forward. Very good. Thumbs up is good too. Okay, look into the camera in the middle. 3, 2, 1. All right, for our second photo, can you raise the hand sign? Can we bring it up? So we go up. Okay, that's really good too. Look into our camera in the middle. 3, 2, 1. InnoVEX Taiwan, shape the future. Do we get all the photos that we like? Have we gotten it? Our photographer? Okay. Thank you once again to our guests and our distinguished speakers for joining us. And please kindly return to the seats with extra care, and then we will be moving on to our first keynote session. Thank you so much once again for joining us today. All right, up next is gonna be our very first keynote of the day. And the keynote topic will be IC Taiwan Grand Challenge Forum. And we have our distinguished speaker from the National Science and Technology Council who will be providing a keynote speech. It's the section chief of the NSTC, Ms. Kwan Yi Ling. So let us invite Ms. Kwan Yi Ling onto the stage for a keynote speech. Welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for having me here. On behalf of National Science and Technology Council, it's really my great honor to be here to introduce you about our international contest, IC Taiwan Grand Challenge. But before I move on to my presentation, I would like to quote a little bit sentences from Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, who said several days ago. He said that Taiwan is the home to our great treasure partners. And it is also where that NVIDIA starts, everything begins. So NVIDIA and his partnership have created and built the world's AI infrastructure. And I say that because that makes the event 2024 Computex and InnoVEX so special. AI, GPU, and semiconductor makes this event spectacular. And that's why we are proud that NVIDIA started from a small startups, have become a leading role of AI industry, and then they have integrated Taiwan's supply chain and also upgraded together. So as a part of this ecosystem, we and STC have been thinking about what can we do to forge or to nurture the next game changer like NVIDIA with all this comprehensive Taiwan's industry supply chain and academic ecosystem at this turning point. So here we are, IC Taiwan Grand Challenge. It's a global call sponsored by government, and also you can see the key industry association here. But don't get me wrong, our challenge is not just let the world see Taiwan, but also we want to let all the Taiwanese companies, even whether you are a high-tech giants company or you are small and medium businesses or you are startups, we want them to see all these talents and technology all over the world. So this is what we're going to do. Our goal is to leverage the strength of the island and attract international teams and investments here based on Taiwan's CBI program. And its name is Chip-Based Industrial Innovation Program. And it's a fundamental policy that is for our Grand Challenge, designed by executive about that. But the vision in that program contains like combining generative AI and chips to drive industry-wide innovation. So in general, as Andrea just said, what we are going to do with this Grand Challenge globally? Well, we want to build a place that every talent all over the world can realize their dreams. Like you can have your prototyping in Taiwan, you can test your business model, and eventually you can become a part of our Taiwanese supply chain here, and next you'll open in your new market. That's what we're going to do. So all these things happened focusing on chips. We believe that semiconductors is the core to drive a variety of innovation. So either you are capable of IC designing, or you have your exclusive ideas like chip-based applicants. That's, you are the one that we're looking for. So a quick reminder here is that the identity we're accepted is startups, academic research institutes, legal entity, and individuals. You can see that we are focusing on more like the teams who is much more immature or just younger teams that we're looking for. And here is the criteria that for the judging review. You can see that besides the common indicators like value creation or technological innovation, we emphasize local connectivity. We want to know your plans, what you are going to do in Taiwan with these companies or universities. And how do you utilize Taiwan's advantages and make it more remarkable? Sounds a little bit difficult, but once you get selected, these are the benefits, or I should say incentives for you to, if you get selected. The first one is you will have a $30,000 prize as your seed money. And when you arrive upon Taiwan, and you should be joining our promotions like TIE Expo in October every year. And the second, you will have mentorship by semiconductor industry experts. I'll show the list later. They are all representatives from the key companies. And I will mention like the fourth, resources, like you will have, once you get selected, you will have the resources that from our Taiwan startup ecosystems, like if you're a startup, you need space, or you are going to land in Taiwan, we'll have some related services. And the third one is I'm going to mention specifically is that this is the one and only that Taiwanese government have ever created to leverage the strength from our key companies and leverage their resources from prototyping to productions like EDA tools or waiver. I'll mention that earlier to show you more details. So the first is world-class mentors and partners. I really mean world-class is that you can compare our list here to NVIDIA showed several days ago. You really look at the map, right? They have all some lists around Taiwan. And you can see that we have MediaTek here also, and TSMC, also Quanta and Wistron. They are all mentors from industries. And also we have Accelerator and Industry Association and R&D Institute, and also we have access, especially this happened in NSTC only, to our top universities like NTU. So if you're looking for advices from industry, or you're looking for assistance from for startups, or you're looking for collaboration opportunities with our R&D Institute, or you're looking for talents from the best universities in Taiwan, this PPT will give you some answers. Okay, so the next one is what I just mentioned earlier is that IC Startup Accelerating Platform. And it provides critical resources from prototyping to production. And it includes EDA, IP, IC design, or system integration, or wafer manufacturing. And you can see that all these companies, they're all very well known, right? And all these resources, the value of all these resources can be up to $3 million for a single startup can use. But sounds attractive, right? But the benefit always comes with obligations. If you use our resources here, maybe the NSTC will ask some equity in return. But it depends on with different cases. So you will be determined lately if you choose to use our resources here. It will depend your situation to determine what the percentage will have. So we don't have a specific amount here, but just for your reference, if you are thinking about apply our challenge and when you're preparing for your plans, what you're going to do in Taiwan. So this is another kind of incentives that we can provide, is that Taiwan have already devoted into a startup ecosystem building for like several years. So we have several international startup bases here. We have TTA in North, and we have TTA South in Tainan, and also connected with local universities here. So if you're looking for spaces, if you're looking for collaborations with our research teams, we can do that. And on the other hand, if you are looking for, if you're going to land in Taiwan, we have different services like employment gold card or back office support, which means that we have built the gateway for you to join our startup ecosystem here. Okay, so move on. This is our competition timeline. We will have 2 rounds of applications online every year. And actually, the first round is already opened until June 30th for the first round. And the second round, it will be start from September 4th until Jan 31st until next year. And the teams who has been chosen will be able to attend our TIE Expo on October every year. So please make sure that you have upload your applications to our website on time. And here's our website. You can find everything you need to know, like the more details about what I just said earlier. And also, you can contact us directly. And before I close my presentation today, I would like to, again, echo what Jensen Huang just said several days ago. Excellence in technology, and also hard work, and the spirit of collaboration. These are all Taiwan's superpower. And this grand challenge is your best chance to join this family. So let's work together to make the world different. And thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lin, for your informative sharing. Let's give her a round of applause. And now we are moving on to our first forum of the day. And before we invite our speakers onto the stage, I would like to introduce them to you one by one. First, our moderator of our forum is the Managing Director of Mosaic Venture Lab, Mr. Volker Hensterman. He has 25 years of global experience in investment business development and innovation management. He also co-founded the Yushan Venture in 2011. and is a venture partner at TPTF, a 100 million venture capital fund. He will be moderating the forum later. And our three very renowned panelists will be, our first panelist, the partner of MediaTek Capital, Mr. Wei-Ning Shen. He invests in semiconductor system and devices, microelectronic components and system, internet infrastructure, Internet of the Objects. As well as we have the general partner of Cascade Capital Management Partner, Mr. Paul Chen. He is a serial entrepreneur working on his fourth robotic startups. He has knowledge in both the software and the hardware engineering as well as IC design. And we also have the co-founder and CEO of OnPlus Technology, Mr. Brian Chu. He has experiences in electromagnetics remote sensing, mobile surveillance, as well as tracking technology. So now, let us welcome our moderator onto the stage. Let us welcome the Managing Director, Mozart Venture Lab, Mr. Volker Hesterman, as well as our three panelists. Let us welcome Mr. Paul Chen, Mr. Wei-Ning Shen, as well as Mr. Brian Chu. And now, I will hand over the stage to our moderator.
Thank you everyone for coming. Good afternoon. And let's make this an interesting 1 hour that we all take away why we want to set up companies in Taiwan, especially when we come from overseas. So let's start with winning first. Everybody just go through like a couple of minutes of your background and of course MediaTek Capital.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Booker. So my name is Wei-Ning Shen. I'm from MediaTek Capital. MediaTek Capital is actually the investment of MediaTek. We are a corporate VC. So basically that we follow and we also help the company to do the technology scouting as well as the financial investment as well as the venture investment. MediaTek itself is the largest fabless IC design house in not only in Taiwan but also in Asia. But I would say it's outside of the United States. So MediaTek itself is actually working on both mobile phone and also a lot of artificial intelligence powered devices around the home. So we will see that annually we deliver more than 1 billion devices to the world. So we will say that MediaTek itself is also MediaTek power device is ubiquitous around the world. So every day in your life you'll see us. And for MediaTek Capital, we do investment, we do venture investments things like early 2010. And then along the past 15 years that we have been quite successful in China, in Taiwan, in Asia, and also in United States. And we are looking forward to collaborate with startups with high potential to work with them, bring them up, and also to enjoy the fruitful result together with them. Thank you.
Thank you. On to Paul.
Hey everyone, I'm Paul. I spent my entire career in Silicon Valley. I moved my family to Taiwan just last year, but now I'm onto my actually 5th startup right now and doing food automation. But in my past life, I used to be an IC designer, so I know a thing or two about chip design. Also work for a large company called Maxim Integrated, which is now part of ADI. And Cascade Capital Partners is actually our family office. So we're mainly a fund of funds investing in early stage technology, more high-tech startups. We will sometimes do direct investments as well. So happy to be here.
Okay, that was the 2 investors and now we have the startup. Brian.
Yeah, I think I'm the only startup. Yeah, all of them are our investor, maybe in the future. Yeah, I'm Brian from the OnPlus Technology. We just got an investment from the government last year, and of course we are spin-off company from the National Taiwan University, and now we are 3 years old. Our focus business is on the phased array antenna testing and semiconductor RFIC testing. Yeah, but we only focus on the testing equipment. It's because I think we have our algorithm is from the transfer from the NTU and have very fast test speed, and I think can increase the industry testing speed and save their cost. So at this moment, we got several company, especially the phased array antenna testing company, and the manufacturer company. They use our solution, and also we just involved. I think we are the last year we just involved the semiconductor test field, and we are very lucky to get some global semiconductor design house. They decide to use our solutions, and I think it's a good chance to change the world. Thank you.
Great. In the audience, who are startups? Raise your hand if you're a startup. Any startups here? Oh, all investors? Okay, then raise your checkbook or your credit cards. Okay. Not a very cooperative audience, but we'll let you answer some questions later. But so for startups, that's what I was asking. For startups, it's always important to know what are investors investing in. Because, right, otherwise it's not a match. So let's start with MediaTek, with winning. From MediaTek's perspective, MediaTek Capital's perspective, which emerging semiconductor, new upcoming semiconductor technologies are promising for startups to build companies around, and then especially do this in Taiwan / with Taiwan's ecosystem? So emerging new technologies for the semiconductor industry.
Thank you, Volker. I think, well, if we're talking about semiconductor industry, we cannot ignore the variety of the semiconductor in this supply chain. So from the manufacturing, from the IC design, from the EDA tool, and also equipment and everything. But in any ways, MediaTek itself operating within the IC fabless IC design range. So basically, I'm starting with the IC design itself. So on top of my mind, there were around 3 of the topics we would like to share with the audience over here and also on the internet. That I think the very first one on our thesis is still the artificial intelligence. I think, well, similar with a few. I won't say Jensen Huang, but I would say our Dr. Rick Tsai. He just had a keynote upstairs several hours ago. I think he also mentioned that the AI-powered devices will be ubiquitous in the future. So, well, and also accelerated computing itself is actually, the driving force for AI and also for all its development applications in the future. So, on top of that, you will see that, well, as the AGI is getting your everyday life, that will also represent a tremendous opportunity and potential for the for the IC consumption and design. So we do believe that on the top of the list, we should choose AI as the one. And well, since we are talking about server, we are talking about CSP, the cloud service provider. And I think on everyday life, whatever is closer to you is your edge devices. So the connectivity between your edge devices to the cloud or to any of the service out up there, that the connectivity will be the crucial point, one of the trends that we should be looking at. I think on top of on this sector, there will be several things like, well, currently we are talking about 5G on your mobile phone, but in MediaTek, we are already talking about beyond 5G. So we are talking about the next generation 5G and, not 5G, next generation of the mobile phone protocol. And the second thing is on the next generation Wi-Fi connectivity and also the wireline connectivity. I think that one will be very crucial to drive the future of the AI delivery as well. The second thing, the third one in top of mind is also automotive electronics. So automotive semiconductor is quite popular in recent years. As far as I can see from my personal perspective, I would consider your automotive is your largest personal devices, which is the huge one. And that will be the smallest data center we are looking at. So the complexity of the semiconductor in that is really is increasing rapidly, and So, and the best of things is it's not just one category of the semiconductor. That combines a variety of the semiconductor, including power electronics, including the switching, including the computing. Everything is included. So that actually brings another door, open another wide range of the opportunities for startups and also the companies to work on. So I would say that those 3 are on top of our investment thesis. And aside from that, I would say Taiwan is actually the best place to start with. We have the best local design, we have the best manufacturing, we have the best design ecosystem over here that we can, I think all the startups are welcome to Taiwan to enjoy the ecosystem that we have over here. Thank you.
That was insightful. Thank you. Paul, now, what's your investment thesis with regards to semiconductors? And then a follow-on question, what would you not invest in terms of semiconductors? There are a lot of startups around generative AI, thousands of them, right? So first part of the question, what's your thesis? And second part, what's the antithesis? What do you not want to invest in?
Yeah, I think, think about semiconductors, it's really the pick and shovels, right, of any sort of underlying application. So I think right now you see a lot of adoption of AI, whether that's in data centers or in physical automation, robotics. So I think that's where you want to be where the end application is, because that's where the adoption and ultimate growth will come from, right? So, so I think anything in sort of AI, I think, is very interesting from picks and shovels sort of perspective. And then I think another way to look at it is how do you foundationally make chips better? It's typically cheaper, faster, low power, and smaller, right? And there's a lot of research that goes into smaller packaging, right? Doing system in package. There's faster interconnects using photonics, right? And then there's if you're talking about lower power, different layouts, physical layouts, in order to reduce standby or active power consumption. So I think this is all very foundational to making chips better. And also, there's become more adoption of open architectures like RISC-V, right? Where you don't want to be tied to, let's say, just the ARM platform, right? You want to be able to develop and freely enhance the underlying technology. So I think that's where some of the thesis is around foundational step changes in making chips better, and also end applications that will thrive in the future. I think to stay away from is things where large companies can just, it's very capital intensive, right? So when I was at Maxim, we were in the consumer group. We were always looking for the next big consumer thing. It started off as tablets, where Apple dominated that space, but there was still quite a large industry, non-Apple devices that were tablets, right? And now you start to see wearables, smartwatches. You see a lot of players there. I think it's very tough to be just another player in a pretty established segment, because that's where a lot of the larger companies will. It's the obvious thing for them to invest in, because for them, if they're not selling more than 10 million plus units a year, it's not even worth investing in. In Maxim, we actually gave up. We shut down a display business that was generating $65 million a year because there wasn't enough growth. But we were doing pretty much 60 million for the past 3 years that I was there. So.
Thank you. Now, Brian, you're a successful serial entrepreneur from Taiwan. But my first question is not what we prepared for. It's also, what if you today were going to start a new semiconductor company? Because the first session of this panel is about the future. And then we talk about funding in the second part of the panel. But what would you start today if you had to start a new startup in semiconductors?
Oh, okay. I think especially in Taiwan, the environment and the ecosystem is very well. I think in the first, I am a Taiwan company, so I'm very lucky. So we can very easy to find some cooperator like i3 or some NTSC, because in Taiwan, a lot of semiconductor company are huge enterprise corporation. So in the beginning, maybe they don't need or they don't want to cooperate with the startup. Maybe they just check the stuff, oh, you don't have the capital and you don't have your skill maybe not approved or something, especially for a startup. So, but through the iTrio, through the NTSC, such kind organization, and some incubator or accelerator in Taiwan, they just focus on semiconductor part. So they will support us, even they have the pitch or they have some program and we can attend that. And they know what we have, and sometimes they teach us what the company need or what the industry need. Then we can try to change our direction or try to modify our business plan and try to fit the real industry need. Because sometimes the stuff just a dream. Oh, we thought, oh, it's a way can make the world better, but for the real things, maybe it's not the way or not a correct way. Or yeah, so I think the Taiwan ecosystems, they support us. We have the real industry here. They can give our chance, but they need some people, some organization to support us. So in my way, in my experience in this 3 years and next year, if I have chance to initiate new stuff, we still try to follow this way. We try to explain our technology to the organization first, to the institute first, and try to get their advice and get their suggestion, and we modify our plan and we introduce to the real industry what we need. I think it's a good way and it's a faster way to real hit the target and the industry liked.
So what advantages international startups that want to come to Taiwan, what advantages can they benefit compared to other ecosystems from the entrepreneur perspective as a semiconductor startup coming to Taiwan?
Yeah, I think for the international semiconductor startup, if they want to come to Taiwan, of course, the program is still there, can open for the foreign country people, it's no problem. I think the most important thing is they have to learn some Mandarin first. I have to say, that's the truth. Yeah, of course, if you live in Taipei or live in Hsinchu, yeah, it's okay, you speak English as well. But except the English, or maybe Japanese, okay. But the other language, you have to try to learn the Mandarin. Yeah, then you can easy to live well here. But of course, I think we give this international, especially for international staff, a lot of chance. And the program already there. I attend several international programs, especially for the satellite also. Yeah, they invite the international staff company to hear and to know the environment. So they also have this organization or institute to support them to take the first step. Yeah, and introduce, and I think the culture is important here. Different company. For example, if my company want to go to United States to get the investment, I also have to very careful. I'm very careful about can I suitable about that, and how about the tax, how about other things. But I think this accelerator or incubator and institute, they can provide such solution and give you a very good environment. So I encourage everyone to come here because we are the last mile of the semiconductor, I think, because all semiconductor IC is manufactured by Taiwan, almost. So they can make everything come true here, I think.
Paul, how can we get more international funding come to Taiwan? Not just from Taiwanese VCs and CVCs, but also from overseas. You're spending a lot of time outside Taiwan as well. What would attract international LPs to invest in Taiwan funds or to VCs to set up offices here?
I mean, ultimately, VCs are looking for growth, right? They want the 100x on their capital. And how do you do that? You need to address a very large market, a very large problem, right? And typically, Taiwan as a market is much too small. So in order to attract, you need to have founders who really understand how to penetrate and to address large markets like the US or China, potentially. And so I think that's key, where there are a lot of resources in Taiwan. The ecosystem is amazing for doing startups and R&D. It's because of the ecosystem, like the manufacturing is here, the last mile is here. You can have your design here. The cost for design is much cheaper. But in the end of the day, you're selling these products into a much bigger market, whether it's the US or Europe. You need to have leadership who understands those markets, understands what the problems are, and be able to tailor a solution for the market. It's not as simple as building a chip. At Maxim, we built a chip, but a lot of times we even had to write the firmware. We even had to write, even as an EV kit, the customers don't even want to use it. They want us to even write the higher level software to be able to show to them what's the capability of our chips, right? It's almost doing the entire design for them. So I think it requires a lot more support application side than just manufacturing. So I think that's where you get entrepreneurs who know how to build businesses, how to attract early customers that will test and try out your product.
I had an interesting call with a really well-known, one of the largest VCs in the world, and their Singapore office was actually complaining that they can't get in chiplet deals, for example, in Taiwan. They can't, even though every startup founder in the world would have known this particular fund. And they were literally telling me that they want to pay people in Taiwan to actually get access to deal flow. So you're lucky, you're MediaTek, you're based in Taiwan. So I just wonder, I spent 28 years in San Francisco, and there are two Silicon Valleys, right? There's the one Silicon Valley for the tourist startups, and maybe even tourist investors, and then there's the one for the locals that work at Facebook, Meta, work at Google and leave, and then they're immediately in the upper echelon and get funding without having to attend a lot of events or any of that. And I believe it's a little similar in Taiwan potentially. Could you talk a little bit about the Taiwan ecosystem, semiconductor ecosystem for startups that you observe, and maybe how do you get faster and better in those deals than international investor? What is it like in Taiwan? The deals you're looking at, the good startups, are they hidden, or how do you find them?
Okay, I think for MediaTek, we are just like Booker, you mentioned that we are lucky. We are sitting in the heart of Silicon now. So basically, we do have, for MediaTek, we have been here 27 years since we spin off from UMC. So yeah, it's been 27 years. So, well, along with the 27-year journey that we have built a strong relationship with all the academic department in Taiwan, and also the industrial partners over here. So I think most of the intriguing, new startups is coming from the academic department. So just like Brian over there, coming from NTU. So we would say that in the first hand, we probably will be able to access those information in the beginning, since, well, we do have collaboration program with top tier colleges over here. That's the first source. So, well, we get first-hand information. And the second thing is that from the investment network of our local peer investors, we probably will be able to see, or say to have a chit chat with our colleagues, neighbors, everyone, even our classmates who's working in some other funds, that they will tell me that, hey, there's an interesting stuff they have seen recently, and which might be helpful for MediaTek, or say Media can help them to derive the maximum value from them. So, well, that's how we start, and to also to collect those locally. I do have several friends from San Francisco as well, from Bay Area as well, ask me some of the startups locally in Taiwan. Yes, and we will give them our suggestions and our opinion. Maybe it's not right, maybe it's just fitting for our view, but it's okay. But I just want to say that I think most of the Taiwanese startups are good. I would say since Taiwanese people are really hardworking, just like Just like Second Chief mentioned that Taiwan is a hardworking guys. So we are pretty much very solid in, product design and also streamlining the production.
Yeah.
So I think all the startup founders, when they come to corporate VC or say corporate ventures, and then they have to promote a solution which really fits the requirement of the corporate, then they will be having a higher chance to get him. Well, I would suggest the founders to treat your corporate VC. If you intend to raise money from them, you have to treat your corporate VC as your competitor, to know them better, to understand what's the pain point of theirs, and then propose. In that case, you get more. There'll be more eye-catching about eye-catching from all the startups coming to them. I think for MediaTek, we have a list like 300-400 deals coming in annually. So annually, we only we have an investment like 10 to 12 deals annually. So basically, I think a lot of them probably will not be able to chosen. Maybe it's not the fault is not theirs. Maybe it's ours. So it's just not a matching between us. Yeah.
Thank you. Very insightful. Back to Paul on international schemes and other ecosystems with, again, the semiconductors in the back of your mind. What are successful models that maybe Taiwan hasn't deployed yet? And then also a follow-on question, like there's Silicon Catalyst, for example. Now we have the IC Taiwan Design Challenge, which is great, but there are not a lot of dedicated accelerators to semiconductors, like Silicon Catalyst, for example. So what's lacking maybe in Taiwan from schemes, from funding models that you observe in other parts of the world that we could deploy here? That's not here yet.
Well, I mean, I can really only comment about the United States. We have a nonprofit consortium called SRC, Semiconductor Research Corporation. It's a little bit like E-Tree here as well. It's in the semiconductor industry, IP matters a lot, right? You need to have real intellectual property. It's not just about, putting things together and having barriers to entry that way. So I think in terms of working with universities, having government support, having the private and public sector support some innovation and be able to do tech transfers to companies who want to spin off. I think that's similar to what E-Tree is already doing. In the U.S., there's much more risk capital where early VCs are willing to come in earlier to get that 100x growth, right? And typically you see less of that in Taiwan just because a lot of the VCs are more risk averse. They because of the capital markets, the IPO market is not as big as it is in the U.S., so they tend to be a little more conservative. So I think one thing could be the having more risk capital, early risk capital. And recently, U.S. had a huge CHIPS Act, right? $50 billion going towards manufacturing R&D. I think Taiwan already has a lot of manufacturing, so they probably don't need 50 billion more in manufacturing. But I think R&D, having government support, could make a difference to attract international players, not just to leverage the local ecosystem.
Thank you. And now to the entrepreneur. You're successful. So how did you successfully raise capital? How did you then, or how are you successfully commercializing your technology? Mm-hmm. And what support did you get from the government in Taiwan? 3 questions in one.
Yeah. I think it's not easy to get a real fund here. Yeah, I have to say, first you need a real technology. Unfortunately, it's not every new technology can be a business, because sometimes the technology, if you want to make it a business, you need cost effective, you need faster, or you need a lot of things, because that is the academic thinking. So in the university, we don't know what's real customer need. We just know, okay, it's a new one. It can change the world. Maybe it can make the things better, but it's expensive. When the cost is expensive, that's the problem, because the factory or the company, they will not use that, because they increase the cost and no one buy that. I have to say, the world is a capital market, so everyone talking about the cost. So if my product have to real into the market, it's need cost down, or it's need make the real investor or real customers, they say yes, it's cost effective. So in my company, the first thing is our technology is got approved from the maybe from the E3 or from the other. We got the award. It's a new technology. It's no problem. Then how to make these things in the real world? In our thinking, because in the original the technology in the university is just the algorithm to how to make the mass antenna elements faster. We test that, and we can test the mass antenna in the same time. We can make the algorithm can make it faster, but how to make it realize? So finally, we find a semiconductor. We can use the same algorithm to test a lot of IC at the same time. Use one instrument. So that's make one thing come true. We can save the cost, save the customer's cost. They only buy one instrument, can support a lot of IC testing. Okay, save the cost. Then we can speed up. We use our algorithm. We can make the IC testing double. The speed double. That means customer save the cost. So double and the double. Then we have the customer. They say yes, that's what we need. Then the investors, the funders, the other investors say yes, that's a good technology. It's not just technology is the new one. We need the customer say, yes, we need that. So in my roadmap, we face the situation. In the city fund, maybe everyone say, okay, only 10 million or 100 million, 10,000 K, maybe okay. But if we want to extend to the real world, maybe we need million level investor. That's different. They need to see the real thing. The real thing can make money. Then investor will invest us. So that's what I faced. And I also encourage every startup company. Everyone should have the new technology, but you have to find the way, find the real capital market. The investor need. They need money. Everyone need money. So what you can provide a customer better. You can let customer earn more money. Then investor will invest in you, because you win, they win.
So, talking about the corporate venture capital and media tech and your peers from other corporate VCs in the semiconductor ecosystem, what can be done to attract more international talents that are hopefully here in the audience as well, to stay in Taiwan, to set up satellite offices, or even to start a company in Taiwan? What can be done more? You already see a lot of deals. I think you said 400 or so, but that's a lot.
Yeah.
But still, how can we get more to Taiwan?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting question. So basically for MediaTek, I think, well, if any of the semiconductor is approaching MediaTek for investment, for MediaTek capital for the investment, basically I think what they are looking at is not the the financial backings only. Most of the startups are targeting the business, or say the MediaTek platform behind that. So MediaTek actually do provide a huge platform for the startup to tag along with. But the problem is that will not only provide you a certain time of the financial support. So looking further at that, I would suggest for MediaTek, what we are doing is that we also as a platform, we also give the opportunity or say give more market incentives, market intelligence, not incentives. Market intelligence to the investees who are not able to access the broader market like MediaTek itself. So I think the value that as a CVC, well, we do work with our corporate VC peers as well. So well, as long as there's something really, just like I mentioned that, as long as something's really good or say something like that we would like, we can also refer to our system integrator and everyone. And sitting in Taiwan, the semiconductor itself is one of the major topics of today. And we just overlook those system integrator and all the vendors, manufacturing vendors and everyone who can also streamline the product and also provide the one-stop service in Taiwan. You design your product over here, you manufacture your product over here, and you utilize your product over here with all the system integrator and also OEMs over here. That's even brilliant that even now standing from the corporate point of view, but standing in Taiwan's point of view, that Taiwan is really a great location for semiconductor startup to come to work with. Thank you.
So like Paul, if I'm a startup in Taiwan, would I look to raise money from a venture capitalist first, or an angel investor, or from the Novatechs, the MediaTeks, the TSMCs of the world, or for you to look at the company, not just the business model, but also the cap table, who is already invested in the company? What do you think for Taiwan startups is beneficial for those startups to have as investors, for you to be interested as well?
Yeah, typically VCs will want to see some initial product, a concept, proof, POC. So, I mean, until you get there, you have to find ways to capitalize. And that's really more, like you said, the angels, the incubators, and even the accelerator programs are willing to, put early capital in to get you to a point where you have a POC that's ready for customer testing.
So speaking of our next topic is the cross-sector collaboration. How has OMPLUS strategically integrated across sectors to enhance product competitiveness, and what lessons can other startups learn from your experience, Brian?
I'm not suggest the startup company to do the integrated across sector. It's because at the beginning you have to focus on your technology first to find one target and try to make your technology realized. So that's the first step. But unfortunately, my company just closed from the antenna testing to the semiconductor testing. That's because we share the same technology. That means you're not just only the CEO, but CTO or some management level people. They have the vision. They can know what your technology can use in the others. Sometimes maybe your technology is very good or have a lot of competitor in your existing field, but in the other field that will be a new things. So, but your management system, the levels people, they have the vision. They can do that, and they can see what they need, and that's the time you can move a little bit to your to another kind of the sector to work that. So. I think it's a step-by-step works. So at the beginning, you have to focus on your turns. Then, because my experience is, everyone knows at this moment the phase array antenna is a new technology, and everyone talk about that every day, but still not public everywhere. So that means the benefit, the profit is still not good at that field, but your technology can use in the others, then you have to change that. But please do not create a new one, because it will make your company confused and make investor confused. They don't know what is your real technology. What is your real want? For example, we know the MTK. We know the MTK do the chip very well. But if someday, I don't know, maybe it happened in the future. Someday MTK they do the pipe system. Yet that means everyone may confuse. If MTK is already a huge corporate company, that is okay. But if you're a startup, you do the you do the chip, then suddenly you do the other. It's non-relative business. It's made investor nervous. They were very afraid your business will be crapped. So I think that the main issue is if you want to change to you want to do a cross-sector business, you must think your technology can share to that, or you don't have to take that chance.
Okay. Paul, from an investor perspective, how important is cross-sector collaboration for the success of semiconductor startups, and what can Taiwan do to foster a more collaborative environment that benefits both local and international companies?
Yeah, I think when you mean sector as in public and private sector, right, there's obviously in the public sector, government providing grants and subsidies, and the universities are, where a lot of the innovation research happens. Having, all the public private sector work together, right? Because as I mentioned, the semiconductors IP is very important, right? You can't just, have building blocks and try to create something huge. So, even on the private side, getting, the bigger chip companies like MediaTek to help be involved in the ecosystem, and also VCs are also providing the capital for these early projects. I think that's where, I think E-Tree in some ways is the manifestation of the private and the public sector working together, right? I mean, TSMC came out of E-Tree, so I think what I would do is maybe let's double down on what's working already. So, let's make E-Tree great again, right? So, why not do more, like do more incubation, do more marketing. So the reason why Y Combinator is so famous is, yeah, they invest in a lot of unicorns, but they do a really good job marketing, right? Everyone knows YC now, right? I think it's, you need some success cases that people will, quickly hear of and be, interested or drawn to kind of participate, right? I think these days marketing matters a lot.
Wei-Ning, from a MediaTek perspective, what can be done to foster collaboration between the Taiwan industry and international startups, semiconductor startups? Maybe some case studies or examples, or what's working well, what's not working so well, what can be done, or what are the obstacles that you think when I am as a foreign semiconductor startup entrepreneur, I come to Taiwan? What obstacles do I face? How easy is it to engage with you and with UMC and other of the big companies, Pegatron and Wistron and so on and so forth? So what is it like as an international entrepreneur from your experience when you invest in these companies outside Taiwan and you bring them back here?
I would say in the past few years, the government has been doing a lot to trying to help the lending of to facilitate the lending of the international startups to Taiwan. But I would still, just like Brian mentioned, that the language barrier is still one of the most obstacles that we have observed between Taiwanese companies, or say Taiwanese people versus foreigners. So, well, I would say if possible, for the next step that our either E3 or NSTC can help is to facilitate, or say to establish a one-stop service for those international staff to come to Taiwan, and when they come, they can have a comprehensive view about the ecosystem of Taiwan, and well, that'll be easier for them to start with. And as for MediaTek, yes, we are trying to, we are not only scouting, doing technology scouting in Taiwan. We do cover like North America. We cover Israel. We cover Europe. We even cover some of the company in Africa. Well, so I think the coverage is wide, but I think MediaTek is a huge company. So basically, that we have a luxury to do something extra. But for most of my peer investors in Taiwan, probably they don't have the luxury, or say they don't have the capability to do so, which I believe that some of the subsidy from the government or the programs which can help us to show Taiwan's muscles to the world. I think one thing is that bring them to Taiwan, like InnoVEX over here, to see our muscles over here in Taiwan. And then the other way around is like, okay, bring those major industrial players out there to show them the muscle. So, well, we saw the trade show. Yes, they're participating as well. But as a whole, I think we can have a one-stop, a single window to facilitate all the lending procedures for internal staffs. And yes, we do have a lot of successful case, not only in Asia but also in U.S. We also bring some of the memory computing company and some of the company to work together with us. Maybe it's not mature yet, but in any ways, we do see that the positive trend on this side. So yes, from corporate's point of view, and two, from the government's point of view, I think we can have more discussions or more engagements related with attracting international staff to Taiwan, which I don't think that will be fighting talents with MediaTek, but say we can help them to grow and also to foster our growth in the future.
I'm just curious, if I was on the ICT Design Challenge team and I had to market this program internationally, where would you start? Where do you think outside Taiwan is an interesting hotbed for semiconductor startups? Is it the US? Is it Israel? Is it Africa? Is it Germany, France? What do you think? Where would you market this program the most?
I think as for now, we still consider that North America is still the primary target. Okay. Since Silicon Valley is still the heart of is sitting there, that with most of the talents over there. But we do see, I think, just like I mentioned, that we do cover several other areas. We do cover, we do see that due to the geopolitical situation and everything, I think all the countries are developing their own semiconductor system. So yes, we do see a lot of countries are booming as well. In Europe, I believe that the UK and also France, they are also doing quite well. I saw the France pavilion over here, right? French pavilion over here. And well, on the other side, on the Southeast Asia, you can see that a lot of countries are committed themselves to semiconductor. Last week, Malaysia. PM of Malaysia also committed a huge amount of money into semiconductor. And Vietnam is claiming that they will incubate around 50,000 of the IC designers by 2030. So we do see that there's a lot of locations which are booming. So I think from corporate point of view, one, how we can utilize and leverage all the talents around the world to boost up our business and to foster our future. And from the capital investment point of view, we keep watching those regions to see if there's any crown jewels that we can invest and also bring them to grow with us together.
So, Paul and Brian, where are those crown jewels from your opinion? Aside from Silicon Valley, of course. The name gives it away. But, what are the countries you think are hot that Taiwan should market itself more to get the eyeballs and, to bring these people here?
Traditionally, I think Israel is an interesting place. It's a little bit like Taiwan in a sense. It's a small population, but they have a outsized number of entrepreneurs and innovation happening there. So we've actually invested in a couple of early stage Israel-based funds. So I think, they do a lot in security, right? A lot in, and they're fairly good at kind of being global on day one. So I think that's where, there's a lot of, interesting collaboration there with entrepreneurs and the tech talent there.
Where are you looking for talents outside Taiwan for your startup?
Yeah.
Where are the good people outside Taiwan?
Actually, if I want to, for example, my company is a kind of global company. We have the employee. Even we only 20 people company, but we have employee from Japan, and we have the employee from Europe. But I think for example, my company, if we want to go to to catch for example, the eyeball from the foreign company investor, sometimes the problem still is they really know this field or not. Yeah, I think it's not. If they know this field, it's not have of course the country difference, and so I think not just for investor, for the founder, for the startup company, if they are a foreign company, if their technology or their things is real helpful for real industry, real company, or for some, for example, they have the very it's maybe the drain. They have very light and very good laser source, and can combine in the chip, and no thermal effect. I think everyone will invest in them directly, but they have to do the real things. Yeah, so I don't think these things have the global difference. But the advantage here is we have the real place to let the startup play here. The startup can very easy, because in Taiwan it's only 350 kilometers from the north to south. They can very easy to find the supply chain, the vendor, and the customer very easy. So even you visit every supplier or every customer every day, for whole year, you can save a lot of cost. If you are in the United States, maybe you cost 10 times more. It's totally different. So I think, so in my opinion, I think that it's actually it's no country issue. But the only thing is your product is real worked.
How about startup valuation, the value on how much the startup is worth? Is it typically higher priced around, as we say, here in Taiwan than in other countries, or are valuations for startups lower for the same product offering, if you will? Like you spend more money, if you will, or less money. Is the valuation of a Silicon Valley startup by default higher than a Taiwan startup in the semiconductor space, or are they at par? Are they equal? I'm just curious. Any of you guys? It wasn't in the questions I prepared, so I like to throw out these unexpected little bombs. This is the money bomb.
Do I answer that?
Yeah, sure. It's an open question.
I think the number will be similar, but currency different.
Well, what's different?
The number will be similar, but the currency will be totally
NTD
different.
versus USD. Okay,
Yes.
I hear you. Okay.
Yeah, I think that, the Taiwan stock market also there is still different.
Yeah.
So we can earn, we can raise the 5 million Taiwan dollar here.
Okay.
The scale maybe can raise $5 million US in United States.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have everybody's attention now. We talk about money, and then you were with us. Now, to the audience, I'm curious, do you have any questions? Anybody? How much time do we have left, by the way? 10 minutes or so, right? Where's the organizer? How much time? About 10 minutes. Okay, questions? Oh, there's a question. Awesome. Don't be shy. And again, who is running a startup here? Raise your hand. No startup. Who is an investor here? Raise your hand. No investors. Who speaks English here? Raise your hand. Maybe we speak different languages. I don't know. You may be in the wrong session.
Hello, hello. I have a questions for, especially for the semiconductor startup, because what I thought about the semiconductor, it's they have to collaborate together. So I'm really curious, being a semiconductor startup, in what field you're caught into this market, and also how did you get the fund? And then one question is, sorry.
You're like me, I have to read too.
I have prepared. In the semiconductor ecosystem, what's your position, or what's your position you think, and also how the company may think you as a competitor or the collaborator in this ecosystem as a semiconductor startup? Thank you.
Wow, that's a lot of questions.
So still I answer?
It's up to you. Up to you.
Okay,
Open
okay.
mic.
Yeah, I can answer first. Yeah, it's very tough things, especially for the semiconductor startup company. We are very lucky. We find a very good customer. Yeah, I think the most important things, you find a trustable customer. The trustable customer just not means the customer is trustable by you. It's trustable by the ecosystem. So that's very important. If you have no chance to touch such kind customers, please give up, I have to say. Yeah, because there will be no chance. Or the other ways, you find some investor like MTK. They can bring you fly. That's another thing. Yes, because all investors, they just see what is your customer. Your customer is global customer, is tier 1 customer, or you're just a no-name customer. So if nothing, if no-name, just like you say, this ecosystem is cooperated very tight. How to enter like, you very, very hard to entry, or even because we are just a startup company. If we are a startup design, IC design house, maybe you have the chance. You have your IP, you have something, you can start. It's good, it's okay. But my company, we're doing the tester. We test the IC. Now everyone knows in the global they have I can say it's Ecodyne, and Advantest. They are also a huge company. They provide they dominate maybe 90% of the market for the testing service of the IC. How can we beat that? We cannot beat that. But we can do something they don't want to do. That is the chance. Why? Because they are a very huge company. They have their prime customer they have to support. Then they don't have the manpower, or they don't have time to support some small company or some side. I have to say side companies, they're not important. It's because just like my customer, they're doing the FEM module. FEM module, front-end module, is also very important. But the price is much cheaper than the core IC, for example, MTK's core IC. But they still need the tester. They still need such kind new technology to support that. That's our chance. We can help them to make their testing cost lower and the testing speed faster, because they have very large scales quantity need to test. Yeah, so you have to find the right customer, right chance, then maybe you can successful. It's hard to say, but it's just an entry ticket. Yeah, it's my experience.
Paul, you want to add to that? Or anybody else? Yeah? No? You're good? Any other questions? Well, my question is still, who's in the audience? That's the mystery of the day here. So one more question from the audience, please. No? All right, then we come back to you guys. Do you think Taiwan has enough startups, semiconductor startups, or should there be more? Or what's missing, if you will, in Taiwan's startup ecosystem? What type of startups should we see more of that we don't have enough right now? Where do you see opportunities, just like the blue ocean? Is there anything like where you go like Taiwan is really set perfectly for this, but we don't have enough startups here already in that? Anyone?
Okay, probably start with myself. So yeah, we are the local investors. So yes, we do see that we do require more, people who, or say more younger guys willing to spend their time and energy to create a new product which, fitting to the needs of the future. The product, probably just like Brian, is not on the IC design side, but I would say IC design is just one topic. So for semiconductor itself, it's very quite range, just like I say. So another thing I want to add on a little bit for the question he just got. Semiconductor ecosystem is a highly specialized part. So the competition or say the collaboration are different in each segment, if I'm understanding correctly. So I think the value that Brian provides to that segment is unique. Then frankly speaking, sorry to say that, in that niche market, the number of competitors is minimal. So it's a great opportunity for startups. And we do need some of them, which is similar with Brian, to penetrate those points, to start with that. And then with a solid base, they can grow. They learn from the business. They learn from the not failure, what we say. They learn from the past way that they build a company, and then they know how to grow. And then with some suggestion of the local mentors or say serial entrepreneurs, they can grow the company to a larger size. So yes, we do need some of the younger people to devote themselves and is willing to work in the semiconductor industry for every perspective. But I still suggest that if there's an opportunity that you can work with MediaTek first, then come here. Then with the experience that you learn over here, you'll be knowing better. Since over here, you will have a holistic view about the whole system rather than just the silicon itself. So that will be a very valuable experience that we'd like to share. I myself have been in MediaTek Group for almost 20 years. So I started myself as an engineer. I'm engineering discipline as well. So yes, I would suggest you don't need to start a company right after graduation. You should, at least to join the industry with some of the giants who can give you the holistic view about this market, about this industry. And you find some, pinpoint to penetrate and working on your startup by yourself, like Brian. Thank you.
Yeah, so I think semiconductor startups is not something you do straight out of college. It's not like, that writing an app or, now with generative AI creating all these, new tools, right? It's almost a career choice, right? You have to, it takes years to build expertise. It takes years to really build a network. And, I would say probably until your 40s and 50s, that's where you even stand a chance to build a successful startup. So I'm not sure, a lot of nowadays, the younger generation, they like things that are fast and, instant gratification. So I think, trying to incentivize entrepreneurs, a newer generation especially, to, choose a career in semiconductors, I think it's will be a little challenge because it's always seen as more. It's not the most sexiest industry, right? So.
Well, now looking at you, I ask who's a startup. Nobody raises their hand. You're all so young because we know TSMC's founder, Morris, he was 50-something when he started TSMC, for those of you who didn't know. So you're all too young to start companies. You're probably students and you're waiting, right? Are there any more questions in the meantime? No? Okay, I think we're about to wrap up here on just a closing thoughts. I feel like this show, Computex, InnoVEX, is sort of a renaissance, is coming back. It's found its identity again. Taiwan has been, Andrea mentioned that earlier, a lot of international CEOs are here to give keynote presentations. It's really awesome for this island, this AI PC moment, but how can we make sure this doesn't run out, right? And there's a lot of competition in other countries too nowadays. We talked about that. So what are your thoughts on Taiwan's semiconductor industry for the next couple of years, startups in general, in closing, sort of like a closing round? What's Taiwan's future here? We don't want to capitalize on the past, right? We have to always be ready for the future and for Malaysia and for so many challenges, Korea, Japan, everybody's trying to challenge, right? So, any closing thoughts? Let's start with the startup.
Oh, okay, start from the startup. Yeah, I'm very proud. I live here. Yeah, we have a lot of our chance. Even, for example, just mentioned about the Malaysia case. Yeah, even Malaysia prepared the money there, the funding there, but of course they have the Penang. Maybe they have the chance, but it's not the ecosystem is just not like us. Yeah, we can start from the design to manufacturing, even to every supply chain, every equipment. We have our even material. Yeah, so I think start from here. Of course, maybe your startup will be merged before you become a good company. Yeah, but it's still a successful startup. I think so. So here in Taiwan, we give a lot of chance for the startup companies. Please do not think everyone will be the competitor. Please, for the startup, we have to think everyone is your cooperator or your mentor. They can teach you something, and they can give you something. And of course, you have to provide what you have. Yeah, that's what I think.
That's awesome. Paul, what are your closing thoughts on entrepreneurs in Taiwan, entrepreneurs wanting to come to Taiwan, and work here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm also an example of someone that moved back from the U.S. to, seek out opportunities in Taiwan. Right? I'm working on my startup. We do hot food vending machine. Basically, we do all our R&D manufacturing in Taiwan, and we ship them to the U.S. for deployments in hotels and universities, right? So what drew me back, obviously my last startup, we also built an R&D center here. I think right now is the perfect time for Taiwan in the spotlight, given U.S.-China relationships. The world is being more political, whether you like it or not. I think this is a time for Taiwan to really shine because now you have U.S. really, focused and supporting Taiwan. Obviously, maybe some for their own interests, right? National security, but it's something that Taiwan can also benefit from, right? So for me as an entrepreneur, I could have just built another generative AI startup in Silicon Valley, but I'll probably be one of thousands of companies I'm competing with. But now I'm working on something more kind of automation where it's really hard for U.S. based founders to build. Right? They typically they're not great at building hardware. It's just more expensive to do it in the U.S. unless you're doing something super innovative like humanoids, right? But if you're just trying to build some piece of automation, I think Taiwan's a great place. Not only do you get great precision manufacturing, you can get certifications that would be almost impossible in China, right? Because some of these certifications require factory audits. So yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunities in Taiwan to develop great technology. At the same time, working with international markets, they get to be able to learn get closer to customer, know what the customer wants, and be able to build innovation that's more focused on product and not just contract manufacturing. I think that's been more of the culture of Taiwan, is that, they can get POs that can make money, and they can price in a way they'll never lose money, right? But if you really want to grow, you need to build a brand, right? Back when in the mobile days there was HTC, right? There's Acer and Asus back with the PCs, but now, I think there's much more competition trying to build products closer to the customer, and I think that's where U.S. Typically is very good at, because it's where the market is. So
Very interesting insights. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I think I just mentioned that I've been to so many places I mentioned above. Sorry, I missed one country, which is India. So you left like that. So I've been to India 3 times this year already. Wow. So I expect that there'll be more trips in the coming future. So what I'm thinking, traveling around those regions with potentials, or say with the policy support on the semiconductor, I still consider my homeland over here has the most, potential in the future to grow the semiconductor business itself. And I think for this one, I would say MediaTek is standing with the government to support the lending of the startups in Taiwan, and we would like to, we also would like to participate in the program as well. And on the other hand, I think more beneficial, more support from the government to MediaTek is also beneficial, since we need to stand in front of the development, standing in front of the cutting technology to be competitive in the world to all our, to those tech giants. So, well, yes, I still to encourage the local people, local young engineers will find a spark to work with to start their own startup, and then shine themselves. And also, yes, we do need some more support from the government as well as via us to support the local startup. 2, also to support the growth of MediaTek, so that, as MediaTek Capital, we will have capital to invest. Thank you.
Thank you, Winning. Thank you, Paul, Brian. Thank you for the organizers, for TCA, and for InnoVEX to have us here. And for the mystery audience, applause to you. Applause to everyone. This closes this panel discussion. Thank you for coming, and please, a round of applause.
Thank you so much, Volker, for leading such a wonderful discussion as well. Thank you once again, and our 3 panelists for such amazing, insightful thoughts. Thank you once again. Please kindly raise and return to your seats. Thank you. All right, that wraps up the forum for today. I would like to thank all of you for joining us, including physically and online members. Thank you once again for staying with us. And for all the guests who are interested in the IC startup, please proceed to the TTA Pavilion, just right at the front, for more interaction. And one more reminder is that TTA has prepared tea reception lunch boxes. So while you are on the way out, please remember to grab one as you go. Thank you once again for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.